are live. Hey, y'all, welcome to my channel, Watch About Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to wash my mouth. Not gonna happen in this video, but that's all right. We'll try to do our best. But speaking of best, I have the best with me, my co host, my best friend in the world, Mrs. Best, aka my girl, Amina.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming and joining me. So, as you guys saw in the header, we are talking about Couples Retreat Season 3, Episode 8. I cannot wait for the show to be over because as it goes on, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
it can't get no worse than this, I promise you. It was such a dull episode. I'm just like, ugh. So, how did you feel about the episode overall?
Boring. I have 5 notes in total, and some of them aren't even like complete sentences.
Same. I literally did this in like 30 minutes because it was like I watched it once, fell asleep, came back, made my notes. There it is. Same thing with Love and Hip Hop, which once we're done here, head on over to Mrs. Best's channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both of us. We are both building our platforms, trying to, make this, YouTube life work. So make sure you subscribe to both channels so you can catch content from both of us. We separate our shows from the catalog. So Love and Hip Hop Atlanta will be on her channel and, probably about a half hour because this ain't gonna take long at all. So the show opens up with Ronnie and Shamari, and I'm about sick of looking at them too. I really am. I'm about sick of them. She talks about how he left her to go do the show with New Edition, blah, 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 blah. It's like it's the same thing. He did this last season. Like, why? So all of a sudden he says a little woo 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 woo, and all of a sudden this is the man that I fell in love with 20 years ago. And I'm like, what the fuck did he say? Did I miss it? Like, what did he say that made her feel like, oh my God, see, this is the man that I fell in love with? Because all it was, I'm proud of you. You a go getter. It was just bumping you up. It wasn't even something that was all that big. Did I miss something, Amina?
No, they don't have anything to talk about. And I don't view Shamari and Ron's issues as something that is necessary for this type of a retreat. I just don't buy half of what they say. I think that they might have gotten to a point in their marriage where they're having less sex, but I don't think that anything that deep is
Well,
happening.
we know from this episode they definitely are having less sex because AJ put them on. Well, she didn't really put them on the spot. They put themselves on the spot like some idiots. And I'm just saying, not every couple has sex every day. I don't understand why we
Yeah.
even going here. But that was all. It was Shamari and Ronnie just there. That's why I'm gonna get them out the way. So next couple we saw on the scene was Fat Boy and Tiana. They go and have dinner at this barbecue spot, which I gotta rewatch this episode. I gotta catch the name of that place because it looks good.
Love you some barbecue, and
And
I
I
do
do,
too. I
yes. If
do
you don't
too.
know, and let me tell y'all, if y'all don't know nothing else about me, I love me
We
some
love
barbecue.
barbecue. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
especially if it's done the correct way. And honestly, when you think of Vegas, Vegas food never disappoints me. No matter which restaurant I go to, it never
That's true.
disappoints me.
There's a
So,
place called Virgil's in Vegas we had went to. That was pretty
mhm.
good for barbecue. It was really good.
I've heard of them. I've never been because Vegas got over 10 million restaurants in one strip. So, but Fat Boy Tiana, it's after her birthday. I think this is a day or two after her birthday at this dinner at this
Mhm.
point. And, they're talking about, where they are. She wants him, to stop cheating and stop gambling. And I had forgot that was their issue because I was like, why are y'all in Vegas
I mean, they
for all
talk
that
about it.
temptation?
They talk about the gambling often, but that is something
Mhm.
that I did write in one of my 5 notes. I feel, and excuse me for looking away from the camera, I'll be reading stuff. I feel like Fat Boy at this point, I feel like personally that they have talked about gambling in every episode with him. to where I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. And I feel like the way that they've discussed it and how it comes up in every individual session they have, group sessions, I think that he needs rehab for it. They do have rehab
Yeah.
for gambling. It is a disease, it is a form of an addiction. Um, she's saying he's gambling $100,000 away at a time. Even billionaires and rich folk ain't just gambling like that. And if they are, it's because they're on vacation or somewhere where it's
Mm-hmm.
casino. He's doing this on the regular. That means all the cash on hand. And what people don't understand is when you're in social media, a musician, when you're someone of fame, a lot of times their cash on hand is not as high as regular middle class people, such as you and I would.
Yeah, they only bring $40 to the casino and
Right.
hope
A
it
lot
and
of
hope
their
it
wealth
win. Yeah.
comes from the things that they own, equity, all these different things. So
Mm-hmm.
when you get cash on hand, it's usually the checks that these people get from doing TV, or since he's in social media, probably his sponsorships online and things like that. He's taking that money and just blowing it, not putting anything aside. And he's saying it's because he has a fear of being broke, which a lot of people who grew up in low poverty areas
Mm-hmm.
experience. I grew up in East Oakland until we moved to Hayward for high school. And so even in Hayward, the kids didn't have everything, but it was so much more than we had in the town, in the deep, that I was like, there's levels to what people can and can't have, but people are highly impacted by how they grow up financially. They don't want to go
Yeah.
backwards. He
Which
needs
is interesting that you said that, because I felt like that is an oxymoron when you feel like you don't want to be broke again, but yet you gamble taking the risk that you could lose it all. Like,
right.
that's where I don't connect with him at, because I understand that coming from where, because I lived in Hayward my whole life. But when
Mhm.
I tell you there were moments where, like, my mom struggled, like it was a struggle, but so we didn't have very much more than what you had living in East Oakland.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is that that is a fear that a lot of black people have. That's not
Yeah.
just, a fat boy, but that's a lot of black people have that. And they think by getting fast money that that's going
Mhm.
to resolve that very empty issue. And it's not going to do that.
It's the same
So
thing as if you break in the law. The faster you get it, it's so you can lose it so much faster. But he definitely needs a therapist individually and help
mhm.
for that, because there's nothing she can do as his wife to stop him from the gambling other than push him to seek help.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. So moving on from them, we talked to Jalen and Fallon. They go and see AJ. Jalen walked into the room hiding emotion, and AJ picked up on it right away. And what they revealed in this conversation was that Fallon's teenage sisters who have moved in, they're a big burden on them financially.
Mhm.
And Jalen has a lot of guilt because he just doesn't want to put them back off to where they were, because he has grown a bond, which it's weird to me. It's really, really weird to me. That sentiment, and that it was weird to me, not saying that he can't provide for her sisters and everything, but it's strange to me that you would grow such a close bond with her sisters and not mention the same thing about her children.
I mean, her sisters are 13 and 17, so no shade, but they are close to his age. They're closer to
See,
his
okay,
age.
see, I didn't wanna think like that. I really did. I did not wanna think like,
I
"Oh
mean,
my
that's the
god."
only I think that he does have a good relationship with her kids because she talks about all that he does for them, but maybe because they're younger, he's describing I'm the only thing in my mind is the trajectory of the relationship that he has with the 13-year-old and 17-year-old has to be different from that of her kids are small, right?
No, her kids are teenagers.
I thought they were little.
No, Fallon had those kids at 16. She talked about that, on Candy Speak on It. Her kids are, like, 16, 13. She has 3 boys. So at 16, that's like, yeah, I think she has a grown son too. Yeah, she has a grown son. Yeah.
Well then I don't know. All
Mhm.
I can say is it's weird to me that the sisters even came to live with them.
That is weird.
What's going on with her mom
But
or
see, I
whoever's
had
with
said
it?
this the first episode. If y'all go back to the first video of Couples Retreat, I had said, "Where are your parents? Where is your
Mhm.
mama? Where is your daddy?
You did, you did.
Why are these kids living with y'all? Like,
Right.
why are we feeding? Like, I need to have explanation because I think at one point I have to go back and watch it. I think she had said her parents were living with them at one point. So why couldn't they take their kids with them if they were gone? Like, I need
I
some
just
more
think it's a
context.
bad idea to take in your family members. I think that you're meant to live alone. If it's like for instance, my husband's mom has some medical issues, so
Hmm.
in the future she may need to live with us. That's different. But you're bringing in sisters, cousins, whatever the hell. I think that's where you draw the line, especially as a couple, because you can't just have everybody coming into your shit when, especially a new couple like Fallon and Jaden, whose relationship started out of controversy and strain. Like, y'all need to get to know each other because being with someone is different from living with someone. I think every person who's lived with someone can agree to that. And you don't want to add extra responsibility and situations where you can't talk when you want, you can't fuck when you want, you can't cook what you want, you can't just do things the way that you would do them when you have extra people in your home. So I think that in general they should probably just not let anyone live with them.
So, and then this is another thing I wanted to bring up. What does Fallon do for a living? Do we know?
She doesn't do anything. She was a housewife. She doesn't do anything. No, it's
Because I'm trying to figure out, because this is another thing, and I know I said this the first review.
Mhm.
Why is he responsible for your three boys, y'all baby girl, your two sisters, and at some point your mom and your daddy? Why is he solely responsible for all of this? And why would you put that burden on somebody, regardless if he offered it or not? Like, I'm trying to figure out where's
My
the
thing
disconnect.
is, she went from Simon to Jalen. Now, what I thought was weird on that as well is obviously you were with Simon for money. I don't care what nobody say. But when it comes to, and Portia is too, that is, look, yeah. Um, but she doesn't, Jalen was supposed to be her assistant. So he worked for her doing something. That's what his job was. That's how she knew him. However, I'm looking on her Instagram now and it says Fallon Pina outside of the regular, public figure and couples retreat stuff. It looks like she has a book called Senless on Amazon and in Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
And she has a management. It looks like they just help influencers, so celebrities who are famous for like nothing.
Hmm.
Um,
So
that's
do we
all.
assume that Jalen went and got him a UPS, a FedEx, a USPS job on and is working
Well,
full
he was an
time? And
assistant to her who is someone who was well connected because of her husband and stuff. So I'm thinking he
but
might be
what we
someone who was an assistant to celebrities and public figures or something. And they
he
do
just
get
doesn't
paid
give me
well.
assistant. He doesn't
Well,
give me
that's what he
assistant.
was doing. That's all we really know. Cause I'm like, I think about that often watching the show, like not just for Fallon, like, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Because they're talking about all these finances and these things. And
And it's stressful on him because he's taking on that role, but it's like, but okay, but what are you doing for money? Like, could we get more explanation? See, this is where AJ needed to ask, okay, well, where do you work? Where you're able to provide, and is it the kind of provide where you're comfortable after you're done providing, or are you, looking in the couch cushion for quarters, and and everything is going into the food and the utilities and
AJ
stuff
is too
like.
concerned with looking deep and sexually free on camera
Yeah,
to
which we
ask
gonna get in.
to
Which we gonna get
ask
into that. Yeah.
to ask the right questions. And I've said it from the beginning with this show. And that's part of the reason I wanted you to recap it on your channel and not mine, because I just cannot and do not stand behind the way that she practices the form of work that she's in. Like, even if you don't have experience in certain areas or in life coaching or, therapy, whatever it may be, common sense, if you have it, because not all of us have it. It's quiet as it's kept. But common sense, you can see that she's not asking the right questions. She's not asking the right things in the right moment. She's not taking advantages of moments. She's not knowing when to push back. A lot of what she's doing just seems like it's for the television. Where so Tony seems to understand that, like, yeah, I have to do this and that because we're on TV, but these are still people and we're dealing with the fragile part of their being. I feel like he's a little more.
Tony has to win me back.
Oh,
So he has to win me back on this show, not in real life.
Yeah.
No, real life, I love Tony.
Mhm.
On this show, he has to win me back because that
Mhm.
shit, I still haven't let go of that shit with Apollo when he said that's not what Apollo meant. But Apollo meant to say, no, that's not what the fuck Apollo meant to say. Apollo meant to say exactly
Well, it's
what he said.
irresponsible for any person working and coaching or with people like in therapy, it's client patient setting, that type of stuff. It's irresponsible to speak for the person.
Yeah,
You can't say
you
what
cannot say
someone
what he
else
meant.
meant.
Yeah,
Only they know what they meant. So
because
even if
if
you
he
have an
let,
idea,
let me
you
tell you,
can't just
Apollo may be many things, but Apollo is not stupid. Apollo
yes,
is not short of word coming. He knows
he's not.
exactly what he's saying, and he said exactly what he meant, and that's exactly what the truth is. Because she
He
ain't
was
went nowhere,
married
did
to
she?
a lawyer for
Yeah,
many years. That's all I needed to know. It didn't even
absolutely.
Phaedra.
Because let me explain something to you. Erica Jane has that shit down packed.
Yeah,
When
she's
you
the
see
perfect example of that.
Erica Jane has lawyer like calligraphy and also speech impediment down. When I tell you Erica Jane, if she knew how to read, she would be dangerous.
Yeah, she would.
She would
She
be
would.
dangerous
She really
because
would.
she is very quick. Like
Mhm.
it's like she has like 6 brains. Like I tell people, like her brain is split into 6, but so you probably only going to hit 2 at the surface, and then the other brain is working where it's going to come back at you. So you got to be careful with her. But yeah,
Yeah.
but Apollo, yeah, being married to a lawyer, absolutely. You are always thinking before you're speaking as they're talking. That's how it is.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, Tony has to win me back. I'm sorry, Tony. So speaking of AJ, because this episode was just terrible, she organizes this BDSM inspired night, which I don't understand how we got this again. I don't understand why this is
We
happening
just
again.
had an episode that was supposed to be
Right.
about sex and intimacy, and then they brought it back and took it a step further.
Yes.
And I was honestly uncomfortable watching it, and I like the fuck. So, and I was uncomfortable watching it, and I do enjoy
I
sex.
wasn't uncomfortable watching it, but what I will say is that it just really made me feel like, okay, there is more to these couples than that. I don't think any one of these couples has a problem in the bedroom. I think
That's
that's the only
that's the
thing
most
that is.
important part to show how pointless it was.
Yes,
These
I
people
was,
obviously have issues everywhere but there. And
but there. Honestly, I would say with the majority of them, I think Ronnie and Shamari have a problem in the bedroom, personally.
yeah, I have
And
wrote
if
that
I
down.
had
Yeah.
to say another couple, Jacques and Kendra.
You think so?
I don't think it's a lack of it's because of what she said. And
Mhm.
we're gonna get to it. But it's what she said made me feel like there's a lack of compatibility there somewhere. And then it's only because of her words. I can't change. That's what she said. So to kind of play is I don't even want to describe this for y'all because it was so stupid. We had this last episode, but she organizes this BDSM. All the couples, whatever, participated. It was stupid. Moving on to the dinner because that's what I want to talk about. And then I'm gonna get back into Fatboy and Tiana. But the dinner, she had them at this dinner where she tells them all to light a candle, make a wish, and then light the candle together. Stupid exercise because it was like a lot of them were just saying ridiculous wishes. It was just stupid. But the most ridiculous of them all was Jacques and Kendra's wishes. Because I felt like both of them said the most ridiculous things. Jacques said he wants Kendra to take it easy on him. And I was looking at my TV and I was like, the moment she loosened up that grip,
You gonna
slick in between these finger cracks here.
baby
There's a
number 10
reason.
will come.
Yeah, there's a
It
reason
won't
why
be
she
from
is
her
like
womb.
this with you. And
Yeah.
the fact that you can't see that was the problem. That's the whole issue, is that the fact that you keep slipping through these cracks at the moment she loosens that grip. So I don't understand why that even come out your mouth. And then Kendra. I thought Kendra's wish would have been, I want Jock to stop cheating. That's what I would have wanted her wish to be. Kendra said, what she said, because I wrote it down. Oh, I wish we had more quality time and intimate time.
Listen,
Kendra, out of all the fucking things that could have came out your mouth, you want more quality and intimate time. When intimate is what got y'all in this position in the first place. Y'all intimate with everybody else.
well, let it be told by her only when they were on breaks. That man is a cheat. And that's just how I feel. She always tries to say, he did this, he made the baby. Jaceel made the baby. We were broken up at the time. We was taking a break. A break means that you're not fully broken up. It means that you're taking time apart and you're trying to figure out
I
if you're
don't
going to
understand
stay
that.
together. I don't do breaks.
I don't understand breaks. Like if anybody watches us and wants to comment, what is a break?
Yeah,
What is
because
a break?
if I'm on a break from my husband, for instance, my husband and I a few years ago, it's like over 5 years ago, but we separated. I swore I was going to file for divorce. We were on a break, but nobody, like during that time, we did not talk to other
Other
people.
people, yeah.
We were like separated. Like I had paperwork filled out on that Negro, but I did. I absolutely did. I went to the law library and everything. And we like once we got to a point where we started talking again, I was like, okay, let me get rid of this paperwork. I ain't going nowhere. But we had, while on a break, like boundaries. And one of the main ones was like, we're not talking to nobody else, but we're going to take time apart and individually. We went to therapy individually, all that kind of stuff. So it helped. I think that's how a break should be utilized because you're still going to be in a relationship with this person. So, if you're on a break for someone and they sleep with somebody else, you're going to have a problem with this. So Kendra needs to just call it what it is and acknowledge that he's done her wrong. He's harmed her. There's probably other stuff that we don't know about as well. And I get that feeling from Jock and Kendra. I definitely think he's done a whole lot more than that's shown on camera, and she's protected him. So,
and that's what's so funny about them two is that she constantly protects him at the same time she's ridiculing him as well. And it's like you cannot do both.
You can't.
You need to do one or the other. And that's what I was. So yeah, Jock and Kendra once again pissing me off. So I want to talk about Fatboy and Tiana real quick because what I wanted AJ to do realistically was I wanted her to kind of not necessarily pinpoint the fact that the money would be gone, but I wanted her to talk more about his childhood and why he feels like gambling would not be the same thing of ending up back in the position he was in. So I don't know. Like, what do you feel? How do you feel that she should have addressed that? Because I feel like she could have did it better.
You just said, when someone says to you, he literally gave her the answer. Like, that's one thing I actually appreciate about Fatboy and Tiana as a couple on this show. I think of all of the couples, they've been the most
transparent.
Real.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely appreciate that. I had no idea who he was prior, and Fatboy, I got a soft spot for him a little bit. He keeps trying to take advantage of this experience. You know what I'm saying? That's what I get from him. And I feel like he's telling her things that for Black men, especially, for men especially, but Black men especially, that is difficult to really communicate, that you don't see young African-American men of that age range, the youngins, not the millennials, we're past that. The youngins like him, they're only 24 and 25. Right. So for me, it's like he's sitting here really trying to express things, really actively trying to make a change. Seems like he really does love his wife. And I think that they could have, at least, you can't fix his gambling issue on this trip, but you can get him to a point where he accepts the fact that he needs to start addressing it to better it. And it seems like he's willing to talk about the gambling and giving her things like, hey, fix me. And then they don't handle that information correctly. He's telling her what
she did. I don't think what she realized was that his gambling is a form of a trauma bond that he has with where his past is. And mind you, he's not that far from it. He's only 24. He is not far from where he was. He just happened to look up and then, continue to have the money to blow until it runs out. And eventually it will. And I think that that's the moment that needed to be said, is that eventually, one day, this is all going to be over.
You're not going to be able to work
Yes.
like this. You're not going to be able to look the same. And with ever-changing technology, you don't even know if the platforms you're using are going to be relevant for income.
Or even have the money to pay you, you know, because as the more people that do this, the more they're going to start doing this for free. Because there's going to be somebody that's going to mess it up for the rest of you. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm not depending on YouTube to ever pay me, because I mean, I would like it at some point, but if they never do, because a lot of people are jumping on this platform to make
we have jobs outside of this, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, we
absolutely.
are not stupid.
Yes.
Okay.
So and that's what I'm saying. I think that AJ's point should have been, invest the money you gamble a different kind of way, because investment is
I think if she would have used that would have definitely helped him in some way, because she can't and is not trained to fix gambling, but teaching him the power of investment, giving him real life examples, showing him something that he can actually learn and see works. He's telling you, I do this because I got a fear of losing money. So show him how investing can satisfy that fear at the same
time. Bring an investor on where, you know, somebody who invests like a, you know.
Because that's the thing I say that's irresponsible about MTV doing this couples retreat, which is baffling, because when they did couples therapy, it was so good. It's irresponsible. You look up these couples, you talk to them, you interact with them to discover what their issues are in order to cast them for this show. So if you know that this man got an issue with gambling, and his wife, even though she complains about it, is so open and still willing to accept the fruits of his shady gambled labor, then you should have brought a financial analyst on there. Like, you don't have to just use AJ. They have guests like the body language lady and some other guests I can't think of off the top of my head that we've seen. And it's like, if you can bring them in, why couldn't you bring someone in who could have helped with that? They just keep doing shit with sex and heights, and I'm tired of it.
I agree. And it's like, I just don't understand, like, this man literally, like, so this was the one time that I actually I've seen there be flaw a whole bunch of times on the show, but that was a flaw in AJ. I feel like this is where Black men cry for help and you turn the blind eye and try to make the situation something different than what he just told you it was. Because the fact that she said, well, why don't Tiana take her necklace off? That had nothing to do
and with just put it back on.
Yeah, exactly. That had nothing to do with what he is saying. So the fact that she even said that, I was like, okay.
She could have used that necklace and said, you spent all this money on this necklace that's in her name. Think about the fact that why buy another necklace when this one can add and build value? It's also something that's showing your love, your relationship. There's just so many directions that she could have gone with the necklace versus just take it off. Like, I don't know. AJ, I stand by what I say. I don't want her back if there is a season 4 of Couples Retreat. I do not want her back.
Yeah, we don't want AJ back. Tony, you can keep. You know what? Bring the Dr. Jen lady that did the couples therapy. Bring her back. So that way we can have a real life. Because and one thing I liked about Dr. Jen, she didn't play with people.
Right.
She called it. She said exactly what it was. She was the white Iyanla. She really was. Like, I
think they would even do better since AJ's not legit. Hit up Iyanla, see what she's doing. Because
I know, because she does make a little appearances here and there. I know, I've seen her on the Bow Wow show.
She does appearances. Yeah. Like, Iyanla, somebody pay Iyanla what she's worth. This woman is over 70 years old. And we don't want a 70-year-old just going in the bush to weep for not the right pay. So please write Iyanla the correct check, because I feel like a lot of networks are trying to fill the space that Fix My Life had. They're trying to steal that audience, which makes sense to go on to stuff like Couples Retreat, Marriage Boot Camp. We can't get Dr. Ish, because I'm sure WeTV gave him a non-compete clause because he only seems to do shows on WeTV. But what's that black guy who checked Nene years ago? Is it Dr. Jeff or something?
Oh, no.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's Dr. Jeff. Nope.
We need somebody.
That is just as bad as saying Dr. Sherry. That is just as bad.
Oh, Dr. Sherry.
Yeah, that is just as bad as saying, a mew, a pew pew.
Dr. Sherry is terrible. She's terrible. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, I don't agree with how Dr. Jeff practices, but they need someone who's similar to him.
You know who they can bring? The fiance, Peaches from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. She's the new host of Fiance. What's the own show? The not Family of Fiance.
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it. She's the new
Yeah.
host. Peaches from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Bring her on this show. I guarantee you, it would be better.
Yeah, you just have to get rid of it. You already have someone who's not really certified and trained to counsel couples on the show. Life coaches are not. They should be working with people individually.
Yeah, they need a doctor and then the life coach.
Like, yeah, they definitely need somebody who's trained dealing with others. It's just, I apologize to those watching my husband work nights. He's snoring. He's tired. But yeah, they definitely need someone different. But I didn't feel this episode gave anything. The only people I was annoyed with was Apollo and Shireen because so y'all can do the Chippendale. She really said the Chippendale's okay for her daughter to see because this is fun for daddy, but not the sex thing. But my thing is this show is rated TV 14. Why a 13-year-old watching it? I don't care if it's only a year under. I'm just saying, you sitting up here acting like you're better than these other couples who have small kids. Okay. Ron and Shamari's kids are 4 or 5. They're under 10. Fallon's got a kid under 10. Jock has a plethora of kids under 10. Okay. He's got a school bus full.
Well, wait a minute. Do we? Because I'm thinking he just had the baby. And then how old is
10 is that one kid. And then before that, he had another one. And then the kids that he have with Cena, they should be around.
Cena, that was her name. I was going to say Cena.
Yeah, they should be like around 10 or something because they were little babies when she was on the show.
Yeah, because I know the kid he got with Alex is grown. And I know the kid he got with Fatima is grown. So that's why I'm like,
a couple of grown kids.
Yeah, he has a couple of grown kids. That's why,
hella kids. But all these people have kids and they participated. So I was looking at Apollo and Shireen like. But what's interesting is Apollo would do this with Phaedra. And there is video, evidence, and proof of it. So.
No, and then he said, I want us to be best friends again. I said, oh, I see what this is. I see it. You ain't slick. Yeah. See, you won't see. And I'm not, and this is alleged. Y'all this is alleged. I feel like he married that lady so the conjugal visits, in case this happens again, could be up in there.
Yeah, because he for sure. Now, I don't see them lasting. I think Shireen, at first, in the beginning of the show, I felt like, oh, damn, she's just not smart with her wandering eye and all that plastic surgery. But as the show progressed, I was like, I really do not like this lady. I'm talking, I think that she just as shady as him, honestly. Yeah. And I think, and two of the same, opposites attract. Two of the same rarely works. So that's pretty much all I had to say.
That's all I have as well. No one else really gave anything, that was substantial because Breezy and Chris never give. So I don't know what else we can expect out of them because no one is seeing their issue, which I've already pointed that out. If y'all want to know what I feel like their issues is, go back and watch the other videos because I made it very clear of what I feel their issue is. And I still stand on that. There's still things that I see Breezy do that makes me feel like, oh, you think you know everything.
Right.
I'm not going to keep saying that. I'm just not going, because it's hard to, as I said, it is hard to break down LGBTQ plus issues because if you don't have someone there, a licensed therapist to understand and break that down by watching who they are, they're never going to know. They're just going to think this is just, two women in a relationship that think everything is good. But
yeah, because MTV does their rebranding and as more shows get into like couples therapy, this retreat, like X on the Beach. I watched that on MTV. Shows dealing with relationships. They have to be careful. You should have at least 2 people who are licensed to practice this type of counseling. Yeah. You should have at least one person who is trained and has a degree in counseling, not life coaching. Exactly. Life coaching does not help these people. They also need to come up with a new name. This is meant to be a couples retreat. So that doesn't always involve therapy. They could just be kind of like the Love and Hip Hop family reunions.
Yeah, because see, and you brought up a good point because I can remember watching a TV show. I don't remember which one it was, but it had Juliana Rancic and her husband on it. And it might have just been their show, but they had a couples retreat episode where the couples had a chili cook-off.
It was,
and I thought that was,
and I love that you watched it because no one I know watched that show.
Girl, let me tell you, I don't like Juliana Rancic, but I loved their show. I do. It was a great show. I thought she was so entertaining. I don't care for her, but I did love her show. So, but that's pretty much it, y'all. We ain't gonna be here too long because we still gotta do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, which was
we could go straight into that because
that show was just, it started to get boring already. We only in episode 2.
I think what it is with Love and Hip Hop is we're expecting a change with it coming to MTV, and they're still doing the same things and filming in the same ways. It's just different people. I'll speak on that a little bit in the recap.
Yes, you guys, go on over to Mrs. Best channel. Her link is right here, right in the little, right here. Right here. Y'all go to Mrs. Best's channel because we're about to do Love and Hip Hop on her channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We do this every Tuesday. I'm also going to be picking up on my channel, Love and Marriage Detroit. It premieres this Saturday, I believe. So I'll be picking up that show on my channel. I don't know what day it will fall on. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. But I will be picking up that show. And then also, I'm trying to get together, y'all, the movie thing. I am trying to get it together. It is just not working in my favor right now. So we're just going to keep doing this until I get it popping. But like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned. Click the notification bell for upcoming. Mrs. Best do all kind of stuff on her channel. So y'all go over and subscribe to her. And I'll be following her lead pretty soon. Peace out, y'all.
Adios.